when the lamb are being slaughtered, it was broken, and the children of Israel survived. Jesus broke it and gave it unto the disciples. And that body was broken on the cross. That body was broken literally. And I know we look at the physical brokenness, the one where they destroy the joints and everything else. But it's actually not just talking about that. The body is not a physical thing. You must understand there is Jesus, and then there is Jesus the Christ. The revelation that Peter had was, you are the Christ, not you are Jesus. You are the Christ, the Son of God. So that brokenness begins from God so loved the world that he gave. There was a separation. The brokenness involves humility. It involves him carrying your sin. A man who is holy, a man who is righteous, carrying the sin of the world. It involved the shame that was on him. It's not just his stripes. That body being broken also speaks of you eating from the tree of life. That the tree of life being brought to you in manageable portions. If you understand what I'm saying. That you are able to access it by revelation. So my body which was broken for you is not just talking about him being beaten. So but it takes it and it says, this is my body that is broken for you. He says, do this in remembrance of me. After the same manner, also he took the cup when he had sipped it, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. So some of the people who were there, who were writing, they were observing, they were trying to remember, because they wrote the Gospels years later after Jesus. So they're trying to remember, they're saying this is, but Jesus, when he brought Paul into the place of ascension and is teaching him, he mentions the word new covenant that was locked up in my blood. He says, this is the new covenant in my blood. This is the new covenant in my blood. That is a covenant that is being delivered. Do you understand? God comes to you and says, I am the faithful God, like the way God came to Abraham. This is different from men saying, God, can we have a covenant with you? I don't want my people to be sick. I don't want my generation to disappear. I will serve you. I declare, God, that my children and their children will serve you. This is not saying, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. This is God himself saying, hey, I am delivering. This is the blood. It is the new covenant. There's a new covenant in this blood, and I'm giving it unto you. It preserves. It gives life. It makes you immortal. You cannot partake of it with understanding and die. You cannot partake of it with understanding and become a mere man. In fact, if you partake of it, now it begins to make you into the original mind, the original design of what God had made you to do here. Do you understand that when Jesus comes, you are going to rule and reign with him? So as far as God is concerned, you rule and you reign. That is what he created you for. That you are here to set things on order. You are here to set things in order. That is why you are here. The reason we are still walking the world, is still partying and doing everything else, is because we are here. Our absence from here, then this place is destroyed. We are here to preserve, to give life. We are here to remind certain people that they are a gift to Jesus from God. And so the Bible says, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. In remembrance of me. Verses 26. Now notice, if you have a Bible that puts red in the words of Jesus, you'll realize that that's where it ends. Verse 25, full stop. And then verses 26, this is Paul. But he says, for as often as you drink it, it's also Jesus' instruction, this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he comes. Now, this in itself has caused us to come to the same place of manna. Because we think that your work is just to meditate on his death until he comes. But he says, do this in remembrance of me.